Whoa!
I'm gonna try and I'm gonna try and drink out of the glass where it's not broken and sharp here. Yeah.
Sorry about that. You get what you're given here, and you get what you get, and you don't get upset.
That's right. And
Here at Dog Ugly Dudes Talking Dogs.
Josh didn't warn me about the sharded glass that I'm drinking out of.
Well, I am sincerely sorry.
Thanks, buddy.
Did you know that a bulldog bit off a man's peanut butter smeared testicles not long ago?
What?
That is the truth.
Hang on.
Yeah, there's an article here from news.com.
Did he
showed
die?
me it the other day. No, I don't think he died.
There's a lot of blood loss.
Yeah.
Especially
Lost his gonads.
Sounds like he was...
Yeah. Surely an accident. Surely the two things weren't linked together, like he wasn't getting the dog to lick the peanut butter off his genitals.
Please
Even though
don't
I
put
know
that image
that's
into my head.
Anyways, so I'll read it to you. An English bulldog has been euthanized.
It was euthanized?
Yeah.
They killed it?
Yeah. This is from news.com. An English bulldog has been euthanized after biting off his Scottish owner's testicles, which had been coated in peanut butter. Could you imagine that? Did you get yourself over there and just lick these nuts? I've got them all ready for you.
No, but so
I've got them all ready for you.
Think about this though. He did. It's like giving your dog peanut butter all over your arm, letting your dog go and have it, and he takes a bite.
Yeah.
And then you go, it bites. We gotta kill it.
We gotta kill it. What did you think was gonna happen?
Jesus.
You idiot.
I do wonder how many times he's done that in the past.
Yeah. Well, no smoke without fire. The 22-year-old man, who has not been named, was found fully clothed and lying in a pool of blood in his Haddington East Lothian apartment. He was rushed to hospital, where he was put in an induced coma for several days.
Yeah, he would have lost a lot of blood.
Yeah. He returned to consciousness and cooperated with police. Although his voice was a lot higher. Nice. Well done. It's a good start by you. You're being responsible with the soundboard for once.
Don't tell me I'm being responsible, because then I won't be.
Authorities say nobody else had been in the apartment at the time of the attack. The dog named Biggie.
No, so it's not like him and his partner were doing
Yeah.
interesting, weird stuff.
Like, Christ, what a shit day at work. Biggie, get yourself over here. Biggie's like, I know what time it is. Peanut butter time. It's peanut butter testy time. Peanut butter testy time. Hey. I'll lick it off.
Oh, God.
Peanut butter testes. Peanut butter testes on a Scottish guy. Yeah, the dog named Biggie, after gangster rapper Biggie Smalls, was found covered in his owner's blood. And pretty happy, I imagine.
Oh.
Inquiries are continuing to establish how a 22-year-old man sustained significant injury to his groin area, a Scottish police spokesperson said. However, as part of this investigation, the owner of the dog, which is believed to have been involved, has voluntarily signed documentation consenting to the destruction of the animal.
That is...
What a piece of shit.
Yeah, that is a shitty guy.
A neighbour told the Daily Record that Biggie was an absolute angel. Biggie probably was.
Yeah.
Biggie is such a nice dog. He isn't aggressive or anything. And he's quite small. He's fine with other dogs. The dog is an absolute angel. I was happy to be around him. He gets a bit freaked out by noise, but he loves having his belly rubbed and licking his owner's testes. That bit I put in. Neighbors,
that's pretty messed up that he's done that.
That's pretty messed up. Neighbors reported hearing the bulldog barking at around 4 a.m. and again at 8 a.m. on October the 7th, the day of the incident. A loud party was reportedly heard coming from the address. However, the Times reports police believe no others are believed to have been involved in the incident. Police arrived at the scene about 2:30 p.m. Local media reports the man's genitalia were not able to be recovered for reattachment.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's what you get.
That. If you can see my face right now.
So
he's lost his whole bits, all his bits.
So to that man, there you go. Thank you for making my Friday a little bit more unbelievable.
Yeah.
This world is a simulation.
Yeah.
Like we spoke about the other day in the car.
Yeah.
It's just, they're just like, oh, we're bored. Let's just do that.
Yeah.
It's like on The Sims, like
Yeah.
you'd lock the person in the cupboard or something, or put them in the pool, or and they couldn't get out.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
super
Make
bored.
them put peanut butter on
I'm
it.
going to combine a delicious spread with reproductive organs and a dog.
Let's see what happens.
Oh my god.
That is...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 12 of Dog Ugly Dudes Talking Dogs. I'm here with Big Kahuna.
Yeah.
How are you, big fella?
I'm going well.
Going
well.
good?
Yeah.
Yep. Today we have an interesting topic, which I think a lot of people will find interesting, and we'll try and explain it as best we can so that you guys can wrap your head around it. We got a very big breed of dog for Breed of the Week. I'm not going to tell you what it is just yet, but the music that we're about to play for the intro song will sort of give you an indication of where it is, where its origins are from. So,
Hiya!
Guten Tagen, Kahuna. Have we forgotten about the Great War yet?
I still hear people call...
I know nothing.
I still have lots of clients that call German Shepherds Alsatians.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they Nazis?
Maybe.
Episode 12, Dog Ugly Dudes Talking Dogs, is coming right up. Nice, man. You're getting so good at that timing. I will have 14 pork knuckles and all of the beer in the hall. It's fun to do real bad examples of accents.
That's the same accent that everybody does for Hitler on every movie.
Every movie. Yeah. Even that one where he's like, oh, what's that? It's in German, and there's a lot of different memes about it. Like,
Yes.
Where he's like, his hand's shaking and he's trying to take off his glasses, and then he's like, these people stay, and then he just goes on that huge rant.
Yes.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yes.
I'm sure there'd be one related to like dogs and training dogs if you really looked at.
I might have to find one of those. Absolutely.
Go look for it. But anyways, big guy, we're in a brand new little setup studio thing here today. I feel very good.
Yeah,
I
me
feel
too.
inspired. I feel new studio, new me.
Oh. We need to get a picture of this situation right now, because I've got my phone, which is not part of this. I've got a book that is not required. And then I've got my little tiny soundboard.
That is the most important job.
My microphone.
Yeah.
And my water.
Yep.
You've got like...
I look
just
like I'm
cords.
I look like I'm working for NASA
It's just
right now.
insane.
I know the launch codes as well.
Seriously.
By the way. I could end the world right now.
I would expect you do, because the setup that you've got over there, I wouldn't know the first thing about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having all this equipment around me is basically a qualification for working as a rocket scientist.
Yeah.
I don't need to do any study. It's just like all the knowledge will eventually sort of... What's that? It's like osmosis? Is that the thing?
Osmosis.
Yeah. That's what'll happen.
Yeah.
I'm getting osmosed.
I'm sure that's the
I'm
term.
getting... Yeah. I'm getting rocket...
Rocket osmosis. Oh, we got off on a tangent quickly. All right.
Shit.
We're back.
All right, so what are we talking about today? This is something that you spoke to me yesterday about because it's fresh in your mind, and you had to do a lecture on it.
Yes, I did a lecture
yesterday,
and it's
so I think it's a
schedules
good
of reinforcement.
Ooh, bang bang!
Yes. So when we give rewards for behaviors that we want and that sort of stuff, and when we don't.
Yep.
And there's a lot there's a lot with this, so we're not going to go into all of it. I think I'm going to only touch on the first part of it, which is the part that when you're teaching a dog a new skill, this is where we land in your schedules of reinforcement, and that's continuous schedule of reinforcement.
Yep.
So dog does something, they get something.
Yes.
each time. That's the sort of the contract that you have between them.
Mm-hmm.
You and your dog is you ask them to do something for you, they do it, and they do a good job, and they get a reward. Also, when you're teaching a new skill and you're luring them into position and stuff, you're not luring them and then you're not giving them the reward. When they get into the right position, you give it to them, right?
Yes.
So every single time they do the behavior, they get the reward.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's lots and lots of pros to this, and there's for furthering your dog training, there's lots of cons.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess a really good human example for what a continuous schedule of reinforcement is if you were to walk into a room and flip a light switch, you expect
the light
is going to go on. So that is reinforcing your behavior of
turning on the light switch.
That's right. Yeah. So
because it reliably predicts that something is going to occur.
And every single time you do that, the light turns on. So
not in this house.
Not well. And this house could put you on an intermittent schedule. So we'll talk about that later. But this house has put me on. I flipped his switches way more times than I should. But the idea being that if you flip the switch and the light doesn't turn on,
mm-hmm.
you may flip it once or twice more, depending on how stubborn you are.
But then straight up, you're just going to think that there's a problem.
There's something wrong, right? What is going on here?
Yeah.
This obviously doesn't work, and you're going to stop flipping that switch extremely quickly.
And in my case, I'm going to immediately panic.
Yes.
Because hand will shove my hand in the oven, jam it in the oven door again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were supposed to get the... she's been practicing those
Help!
slaps.
Help!
Josh
shouldn't joke about domestic violence.
I know
but when it's like,
her beating you, it's
I'm 110 kilos and hand throws me around like a little.
Well, she's got her little setup out there where she punches she practices like nut kicks and
all to keep me in line.
And you need it. So that's the thing.
I need it. So that's a thing.
But anyway, so the light switch. The point being, we can understand it very easily that way. Where if we flip the switch and it doesn't work, then you're going to quickly go and do something else. You're going to change the light bulb or figure out why it's not working. And
your mind is going to be switched from doing that to
something else immediately.
Yeah.
Right.
Same in dogs.
So if we give our dogs a treat every single time, or it doesn't matter what kind of reward it is, a reinforcer. So whatever is making the dog happy at that time. But we're going to just stick to treats for now, just to say this is the example we're going to use. So you give them the treat after they do the behavior. So now you got the dog sitting on command. Every time you tell them to sit, you give them a treat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you start moving away from that paradigm where you're giving a treat every time, you have to do it in a particular way, or else what will happen is the first time you don't give them that treat, they are going to be very confused.
Yeah.
Right. So it won't take very long at all for you to make that behavior go extinct and make them not want to do it anymore because they're not getting the reward anymore.
Yep.
Right. So the every time they do the sit, you give them the treat. You stop giving them the treat, they stop doing the reward. It's completely contingent on whether or not you have a treat.
Yes.
And you see this all the time with people and their dogs. My dog won't do it if I don't have a treat,
mm-hmm.
right? And this is why. Because they haven't moved to an intermittent schedule properly.
Mm-hmm.
They've just stopped. They've just done it and they go, okay, he knows it now. Now I'm going to stop giving it because now he knows it and he should just do it because he knows it.
Yeah.
But that's not the way it works.
Nope.
The way we need to make it work is the same way that what you call them pokies over here, but like
poke machines. Yeah. That's where I was going to go with this after you'd finished, and when we started talking about intermittent schedules of reinforcement. Perfect example is the poke machine.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
pokies.
The pokies.
Yeah. The Whitlams had a song called
That's
Blow
why
Up
you
the
call
Pokies.
them. Yeah. I still had no idea why you called them
the pokies. Yeah.
The pokies.
Yeah. Some people call them. In England, they call them fruities or like fruit machines. And I'm like, you guys are dumb.
Typical.
I'm going to go and throw a few cents in the fruity. Oh,
Oh,
I got 2 cherries and a banana.
there we go, off the charts.
Yeah, we just got onto Great Britain's like in the chart, and then
See
they're
ya.
like, "This guy's slagging off fruities." And then up north, they're like, "I can't be listening to that anymore." Talking rubbish about fruities.
That's pretty good.
You bastard.
Oh, I don't have a sound for this that fits what I want, what I'm feeling, but yeah. So there we go. So what we want to do is try and create a situation where the dog thinks that there's a possibility of getting a reward, and that's why they're going to do it, not because they know that they're going to get a reward.
100%.
So, and the reason that we gamble is because we think there's a possibility of getting a reward.
Absolutely.
Like, another example would be, why does anybody play the lottery? And it's because there's a possibility.
There's a possibility that you win big. Yeah,
that's right. And they'll play for their whole lives and never win big. But then what they do is they throw in those little wins throughout the time, right? So
same with poker machines.
Yeah, exactly.
Keeps you on the hook.
That's right.
Poker machines is a really good grasp on human psychology.
Yeah, exactly.
Because everybody's played a poker machine, and if you haven't, it's just the lights, the colors, when the noises at certain times when things line up, and it just dumps in your brain. Because you're just like, just playing Where's the Gold? Fido's finding me them nuggets, which is completely inaccurate, by the way, because gold does not have an odor.
No.
And dogs can't find it.
No.
So don't get that idea. Where's the Gold? You misled me as a teenage man.
Gambler.
I was like, no, dogs can find gold. It's on Where's the Gold poker machine. You guys are dumb. You don't know what you're talking about.
That's why you got into dog training? So
because I was playing. I was like, I need more money to play Where's the Gold so I can watch Fido find the gold. And then I found out that dogs can't actually detect gold.
Oh, I mean, that's just tragic, isn't it?
It is.
But I mean, there's other things you can do with dogs.
Yeah, and there'll still be people out there who be like, no, that's bullshit. That's bullshit.
They can find gold.
Yeah, they can bloody find gold, didgeridoo. This is weird dude
You even do an accent for your accent.
If you've ever listened to an American person or anybody else try and do an Australian accent, it's always that. It's always that.
That's how you sound to me right now.
Flaming dingo droppings.
That was a mix between something.
Alf Stewart and a bucket of chips.
That was your
that's
1950s accent.
I know.
You've mixed them. That's all right.
One too many head knocks in my life. But anyways, continuing on with
schedules of
reinforcement.
Yeah. So, I think probably the best thing to cover off on this today is why your dogs aren't doing things.
Exactly.
So
100%.
Because people will go. Ideally, we want people to come out of this thinking, okay, there is something I can do here, and this is why the dog isn't performing properly at the moment.
Yes.
We're not going to go into too much about making them perform properly, but we can get into that another day because that's another. It's just going to take too long to go through that right now.
Yep.
But so the main thing to think about is when you are trying to train your dog to do a particular skill or a number of skills, that you really think about what you're doing as far as your rewards. If you're giving rewards every single time, you cannot just stop giving rewards and expect the dog to continue doing the behavior.
Because we go back to that light analogy where the dog's going to think something's wrong and then it's going to change its behavior completely to try and see if it can get something else.
That's right. So the trick to the whole thing is introducing the intermittent schedule
pretty early.
As soon as you can, and in a particular way. So you're not gonna just immediately start giving the dog missing 5 rewards in a row and then giving them one. You start very, very slowly where the dog gets, out of 10 trials let's say they get 1 miss. Mm-hmm. So they've done it and then one time they missed it and then it comes back and they start getting it again. So that way the dog goes, oh, that was a fluke. So that's like if you flip the switch and it didn't turn on and then you flipped it back and flipped it on again and then it did turn on. Yeah. And you think, oh, maybe I just didn't flip it right the first time. It just didn't quite happen. And then you start slowly adding misses. But that's over like a an extended period of time. That's not one session. That's
Yep.
let's say you've got the sit perfect and you're trying to move to an intermittent schedule. You're going to do that over as slow as it is required for the dog, but let's say it's a week
Yep.
of training sessions where you're going to that intermittent schedule rather than trying to change it all in one session where the dog is getting confused and wondering and giving up because he thinks he's doing it wrong now. So
on the opposite side of it, if you go to a point where you think you never have to reward your dog, then the dog's never going to do it, obviously. Like, I think about it, like, let's take it back to the simplest of terms. When dogs were wolves and wolves would hunt and occasionally they'd have a miss, maybe 4 out of 5 times they'd have a miss, and on that one time they actually get what they're after. They get that food source, and then so that's an example of their intermittent schedule of reinforcement.
Yes,
in the most natural sense.
Yes, and they're on an intermittent schedule of 1 in 5 on average.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I think about it, when Joey used to go and try and find rabbits and stuff at the cemeteries and that, he would very rarely get one at all because, maybe 1 in 10 times, 1 in 12 times, one would spring and he'd be lucky enough to catch it, and then we'd have to get it off him. But that was enough to keep him going.
So at 1 in 10, he was still
1 in 10 or 1 in 12.
happy.
Yeah, exactly.
But he also loves the hunt itself.
Exactly.
So,
he loves the hunt itself, which is different to a lot of dogs.
So there is a reinforcing factor there as well.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, great point, man. That he
but
is
that's
satisfied.
sort of
he's scratching
the primary 1 in 10.
Exactly, but he's scratching an itch by hunting.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, true.
So
that's a good point.
So this probably isn't an exact analogy for it, but the hunt is sort of the conditioned reinforcer. So when he gets the scent and all that sort of stuff, he's getting a reward, but it's not the primary reward. The primary reward is getting the actual rabbit, and then 1 in 10 times, on average, he's getting the primary.
And now I think about it, he would often make up his own schedule of reinforcement, because if he knew that he couldn't get to a certain thing, he's what I call a scent junkie. He would go to a place where there was a lot of odor.
Right.
And you could tell because he was so high energy, and you could hear him like sniffing from a good 15 meters away.
Yeah, right.
And that's him like downloading on odor.
Yeah,
and being like self-rewarding on that. So he's like, oh yeah.
Liking the odor rather than... Because he knew he couldn't get to
He knows he's not going to get it.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. But that's a perfect example of a natural form. Like, that's how dogs learn naturally, is with an intermittent schedule, because when they hunt, that's what they get.
They're never going to get a continuous schedule of reinforcement.
That's right. Exactly.
Ever.
And with what you were saying about, if you never reward your dog, then they would just stop doing it. The only way to solve that problem is to introduce aversives, and the dog is only doing it because they're trying to avoid the aversive, which
you never want to do that.
Terrible.
Yeah, that is awful.
I just think that. What's the point? What's the point?
That's like old school, like World War II, how the Germans used to train their dogs.
To me, it's just kind of like, what's the point?
There is no point.
If the dog is just doing everything to avoid aversives, what's the point?
There is no point.
No, let's just give this thing a bad life because we can.
Well, World War II was a bit of a different time.
And they weren't going to have rewards going where they were going.
Yeah. They actually, those dogs, what the Germans would do is they would strap satchel charges to the side of them, and then they would get the dogs to seek out American tanks, run under them, and then they detonate them. It's pretty morbid, man, but that's what they do. Yeah.
Yeah, they had the ones that weren't performing as well, just got them on descent.
Yeah. Shit, a monkey. That's no good
at all.
Yeah.
But anyways,
let's go through a little example just to clarify for people, like little 5 minutes here. So, somebody at home, they may be listening to this, and this may have like sparked a light bulb in their head, that where every time the dog does something, they'll treat it, and then when they don't have treats, they'll try to get the dog to do it, and the dog's like, nah, not going to do it. So you need to move away from that continuous schedule of reinforcement now and implement the intermittent schedule of reinforcement to go forward with your training. how would you recommend people do that?
So the way that I like to do it, which is, I'm going to talk about this very briefly and basically, but the best way for me to start moving away from a continuous schedule to a intermittent schedule is to, there's a form of doing that, which is, successive approximation. So as the dogs, we want them to do, we always trying to get the dog to do the behavior just a little bit better, a little bit faster, that sort of thing. And the way that we can do that is to start rewarding the dog for the better ones. So
true that, man.
When the dog doesn't do a great job, you ask them to sit and they're just like, whatever, and they just barely do
slow,
it.
It took ages, they're looking at you like,
whatever, I'm doing it, but I don't care,
Yeah. I'll be like, well, I don't care about giving you a delicious treat. So how does that sound? I wish I could talk to them telepathically sometimes and just be like real bitchy. Because sometimes Joe just gives me these looks like, you are a dead shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's the way that I like to start doing it. So the essentially what I do is the first time that they give me a really good response, I give them maybe something extra special for their reward or whatever. So I'll give them a jackpot for their reward.
Yeah.
And then when they do a bad job, that'll be their first miss.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they're not missing on something
which is negative reinforcement.
Negative punishment.
So negative punishment.
Yes.
Sorry, not negative reinforcement.
Yeah.
I got the words mixed up. I knew what I meant. Negative punishment, taking it away.
Yeah.
So the dog doesn't get the reward.
Yeah, that's right. So
I'm an idiot.
So because that first time they miss is going to feel like punishment.
Yes.
Right? For them, it's going to feel like they've been punished. Why didn't this happen? Right. So ideally, we do it on one that they are thinking about. Oh, well, I didn't do it as fast as that other one, or I didn't do it properly, or whatever, and they think about what caused it. So then the next time we give them the reward again, maybe ideally on that next one they do a better job, right?
Yeah.
And then they get the treat again. So the trouble with that is you have to be pretty careful, because if you go, well, they did a bad job on that one, but then they did a worse job on the next one, you still have to reward it, because you can't miss twice.
Yeah, you can't
in
miss
that first
twice.
one, So you still have to reward that, and then you start moving towards that successive approximation. So then you start moving towards doing the better ones,
because they can get to the point of what's called learned helplessness.
Yes,
If you continuously, you've got the bar set at a certain point, and then you're like, well, you're not doing it, and then the dog's like, well, what? I don't understand. I don't get it, and then they're getting worse and worse.
Yeah,
in the handler's
exactly.
eyes,
they're not going to get,
and
they're
not going to reach that bar. So you have to
Exactly.
adjust that bar, which is what we were talking about with Duck last week, who has a very, very good understanding of how to implement the continuous schedule of reinforcement early with how he trained Reggie. And you even heard him say it himself. He doesn't know. Well, Duck, admittedly himself, probably wouldn't know what it means, like intermittent schedule reinforcement sort of thing. He would now, but before that, he just knows, like, at the start, I give him lots of treats, and then later on, he just knows they have to do it until Reggie does a really, really good job, and then it's like, wow, jackpot it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he has a really good grasp on it, and that's why Reggie continuously does the things that Duck asks him to do, because there's that chance that he's going to hit the big time on the poker machine.
Yeah,
which is Duck giving him.
And he's continually trying to do better, because he knows that doing a better job it has a higher chance of getting a reward. This is the difference between the poker machine and dog training. Is we actually it is rigged. If you do a better job, you can get a reward. Mm-hmm. But whereas the pokies, you can't.
Yeah.
You just press the buttons, and it is just a random. Now that is a true form of intermittent schedule of reinforcement. There is nothing you can do, but it still creates the same situation. You can press it really hard. You can press it really lightly. It does not matter what you do. Right.
Oh, I've tried it all.
Exactly. So let's say with the dog doing a sit, the whole point with what I like to do with it is you're trying to get a better behavior. Whereas if you do a true intermittent schedule, then the it doesn't matter. Like, you just are going to totally randomly if the dog does a perfect job, you maybe will still miss it. If they do, the next one is a bad job, and that's the one that you're going to randomly reward on, then you're going to reward on a bad one. But it's a completely intermittent schedule, so the dog would then think just exactly the same as the pokey machines. So I guess for dog training, the better way to do it is to do it through successive approximations and differential reinforcement for better behavior.
Yep.
So that's going to be the basic breakdown, because it's going to get too complicated, and we'll talk more about it another time.
For sure. But I think that a lot of people could take a lot of stuff out of how you've explained it. You do explain it a lot better than what I can. But yeah, hopefully everybody out there has taken a little bit from that they can use in their training and sort of see some positive differences going forward. If you have any other questions, we're happy to answer them for you. Just private message us on our Instagram account or Facebook. And yeah, we'll see if we can clarify some points if you're not so clear on it. Coming up now, it is time for Breed of the Week.
I don't know what breed that it could be. Maybe a Whippet or a small Bichon Frise. But if you stick around, you will see. 'Cause it's time for Breed of the Week. I don't know what breed that it could be. Maybe a Labrador or a Basenji. But if you stick around, you will see. 'Cause it's time for
Breed of the Week. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Thank you very much.
That song makes my heart do this.
Canadian stripper music.
Yes.
The CSM. Very good.
All right, so what is it?
I'm just going to play the little this behind it. It's a breed, and I was inspired to do this breed because I was talking to my good buddy Benjamin, who I had mentioned. He helped me catch the ducks at my mum's house. Howdy, Benny. And he and his lovely partner Kaylee have two giant schnauzers.
Giant schnauzers. All right.
Turn up that applause there. Very good. So you've got the book there. You've got the giant dog, every dog it's called. But I've got a little internet article here.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you any information about this.
You're not going to give it to me?
Back off.
But so this is from AzumaGiantSchnauzers.com. They have a really good website. I'm pretty sure they must breed them. But here is the history of the giant schnauzer. Known over history as the Russian bear schnauzer. That's a bit weird. Munich schnauzer and...
No, that's not weird, because if that's where they were from, they used to hunt bears, or they still do hunt bears. Maybe there was a dog for hunting bears in Russia.
Maybe. Okay, yeah. Oh, could you imagine that? Oh, God.
What if that thing ran out there, you might not know which one is the bear.
Yeah. You just got the rifle doing that. But anyways, known as the Russian bear schnauzer, Munich schnauzer, and Reisenschnauzer.
What is it?
Reisen?
Reisen?
Reisenschnauzer.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Reisenschnauzer. The giant schnauzer is thought to have come from crosses between dogs such as the Black Great Dane, Bouvier des Flanders, and the Standard Schnauzer. The word schnauz means muzzle or snout in German. The word was chosen because the giant's snout and whiskers draw immediate attention.
Can I cut you off there for a second?
Of course you can.
That German name that you said there,
Reisenschnauzer?
Yeah, means giant Herculean monster with a walrus mustache. That is what it means. That's the translation.
Walrus mustache?
Yes.
Could you imagine if they were like, if they actually took walruses and put them in the breeding program? It'd be so good. Walrus have big tusks too. They would be a formidable beast.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a really cool name, but that is a ridiculous translation.
That's a stupid translation.
Yeah, well.
But anyways, a few races have been more prolific in their development of new breeds of dog than the Germanic peoples. This is true.
Absolutely.
They've been at the top of the pile for
Well, that's what we
For
were
a
talking
long
about with
time.
Alex.
Yeah.
They're just...
They just know how to do it.
Oh.
Yeah. So much better than... Well, they used to. I don't know so much now. I think
they're still
think they're
good,
still
yeah.
good. Not only have they evinced rare patience in tracking ancestries, but they have proved their ability to fix type. One of the most notable examples of their breeding skills is the Schnauzer. For there is a dog not only brought to splendid physical conformation and keen mental development, but reproduced in 3 distinct sizes. The one under consideration here is the Riesenschnauzer, the giant. It is important to realise that the miniature, the standard, and the giant Schnauzer are 3 separate and distinct breeds. But we talking about that big giant. We're talking about Hagrid dog.
Yeah, close friends
Close,
of mine have
close relation to Hagrid from Harry Potter.
Well, that's not what I was going to say.
there, right? What happened?
Oh, you turned me down?
No, hang on. I have. Go.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
What I was going to say was
Yeah.
that friends of mine have a mini Schnauzer.
Yeah, it's
And-
pretty cool.
Yeah, they're hilarious.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous. But,
Actually, you know Patty and Emily that live in Brisbane and they got the Nova Scotia. Mm-hmm. Pretty sure their Nova Scotia lives with a little Schnauzer.
a mini?
Yeah,
Yeah.
miniature Schnauzer.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Close to
But
home.
yeah, so you very close to home. So your friends have got a miniature one.
Yeah, I've never done much with the giant Schnauzers, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
We'll talk about that after.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the 3, the dog now known in America as the standard Schnauzer, which is the medium-sized specimen, is without doubt the oldest. He is the one apparently portrayed in paintings by Dürer. I don't know how you spell his name.
By bleh.
Yeah, I just had a stroke. Dating from 1492. And he is also one of the Nachtwachter Brunnen, the statue of a night watchman and his dog erected in a square in Stuttgart, Württemberg in 1620. These instances are important only as they indicate the antiquity of the type of dog perfected at those dates and still remain today. True that?
It's pretty impressive.
Pretty
Seriously,
impressive.
to have a dog that a breed that long and be able to keep it clean.
Yep. In unearthing the history of this breed, it must be remembered that occupation of men had a great deal to do with all development in dogs. There were no bench shows in those days, and when a new breed was produced, it was aimed at a specific work. I shouldn't have lived today. I was thinking about that this morning while I was urinating in the toilet. It was a combination of like having played Red Dead Redemption 2 like relentlessly for the past week and a half and just struggling to come to terms with the reality that I face. I'm going to get a time machine and take Han back to like the Wild West.
Yeah.
And we're going to be like, I'm going to buy a ranch.
Yeah, you'd be sweet back then.
Yeah. And like rob trains on the side. Just do magic tricks with dogs, like, because people back then wouldn't know shit.
Yeah. You ever see
Yeah.
that show Norseman?
Sort of.
There's
yeah.
it's on Netflix, but
Is it like
there's a guy who
Vikings?
does like a miming box, and they're like, he's the best person. And
Is it?
magic,
Yeah, he's
you'd
magic.
You'd be really good back then.
Oh, dude. It'd be insane. Where are we up to? In unearthing the history of this breed, it must be remembered that occupations of men had a great deal to do with all development in dogs. There were no bench shows in those days, and when a new breed was produced, it was almost aimed at a specific work. Also, its characteristics were governed to a large extent to weather and living conditions.
Yeah.
All Schnauzers had their origin in the neighbouring kingdoms of Württemberg and Bavaria. These are agricultural sections where the raising of sheep, cattle and other livestock has been a major occupation for years. Since railroads were not known, sheep and cattle had to be driven to market, which meant that dogs were necessary to help the shepherds. There is little doubt that when Bavarian cattlemen went to Stuttgart, they came across the medium-sized Schnauzer. Here was a dog to catch anyone's attention, for even then it was sound, while it showed power throughout its trim lines. The Bavarians liked the dog, but they were not satisfied with its size. The sheepmen could use this size of dog, but the drovers needed a larger specimen for cattle.
Ah, yeah.
See where they're going now.
Mm-hmm.
The first attempts to produce a drover's dog on terrier lines with a wiry coat were no doubt by crossings between the medium-sized Schnauzer and some of the smooth-coated driving and dairyman's dogs then in existence. Later there were crossings with the rough-haired sheepdogs, and much later with the black Great Dane. There is also reason to believe that the giant Schnauzer is closely related to the Bavaria des Flandres, which was the driving dog of Flanders. The finished product produced an agile, deep-chested dog with a huge heart. He'd get the owners really thoughtful gifts.
Were they saying literal?
Only you have such a huge heart.
Because I've heard that they're pretty nasty.
Yeah, Ben. I asked him this morning. I was having a little chat to him about it, and he reckons that a lot of the time they're like couch potatoes, and he says both of his, so Ari and Lloyd, so he's got a boy and a girl, 2-year-old boy and Ari's 10 months, and he says their zoomies are really bad in the morning. They have the zoomies.
Yes.
But I said to him, I was like, what are they like protective wise of the house and of you and Kaylee? And he's like, well, Lloyd's super protective of Kaylee and Ari's bonded to him, but they are quite protective.
Yeah,
very.
You can do bite work with them and all sorts of stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
Which you just cannot see that when you look
you can't.
At it.
Yeah.
I
was so surprised when I first came across. It was when Ben showed me. He's like, "Look at this, please," and then it was a dog, a Schnauzer, working with one of the special operations SWAT teams.
Oh yeah.
One of their police in the US, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
But anyways, back to the article. The finished product produced an agile, deep-chested dog with a huge heart. That's what makes up a true working dog. Once seen, the giant Schnauzer is seldom forgotten. Its appearance speaks for itself. The giant has a history as a noble cattle dog and sheep drover. It is a protector that would risk its life for you. The giant Schnauzer was first used as a cattle driving dog in Bavaria, then later as a guard dog and by the police and military. The giant Schnauzer excels at Schutzhund. Schutzhund is
dog sport. With biting.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much getting the dog to bite and a heap of obedience and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For those people that didn't know. And also makes a good companion. For many years, the giant Schnauzer was called the Münchener. Munchener, and it was widely known as a great cattle and driving dog. Von Stefanitz places its origin as Swabia in the south of Bavaria, and it was found in a state of perfection in the region between Munich and Augsburg. When shepherds drove their herds through Bavaria, giant Schnauzers were soon recognised as guard dogs by shopkeepers. In Germany, the giant is the dog of choice for police work. I don't know about that.
That is not true.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Now I don't believe any of this article.
Yeah.
That's just a pure flat out lie.
This is very biased if you think that
German Shepherds and Malinois are
worldwide.
Probably more Malinois now.
Yeah, and Dobermans as well.
Even in Germany.
Germany, I know for pretty high statistically that they use a lot of Dobermans.
And Dobermans.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
This is just a terrible lie.
I don't believe you. You know that thing on yeah, that's what's coming out of this article now. You know on Anchorman when he's like, I'm on right now. I don't believe you. That's me to this. So yeah. But when shepherds drove their herds through Bavaria, giant Schnauzers were soon recognised as guard dogs by shopkeepers. In Germany, the giant is the dog of choice for police work. Both in Canada and the US, giants are used for rescue work and at airports for detection of illegal or dangerous substances.
Legal? Did you say illegal?
Yeah. They're there for legal
They're
substances.
only
It's like,
detecting legal things.
you have candy bar in your pocket. Have a good day. Oh, there's a turnip. Goes well in soup. Bye.
Oh,
Sir, do you
okay.
think that we potentially should have got this dog to train on illegal substances? He's having a great time. Let's just let him be.
Oh man,
Was this
That
a
is
bit
classic.
of chocolate smeared on your stapler? I found it because it's legal, yeah.
Just so you know, Josh is also waving by as he does that.
Yeah, but they're used for rescue work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could see. I
could
could
see
see
that.
stuff like that. Yeah,
and at airports for detection of illegal or dangerous substances.
like they're used to the cold temperatures and all that. So like avalanche
yeah, avalanche.
rescue and all that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that would be pretty cool.
Um,
They'd cover the ground fairly well as well because they're so big.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
does it have anything in there about like the trainability and all that stuff? Because I've got that
So,
here.
yeah. Yeah, just
Just
whatever you got there. What do you
So
got?
one of the things that I just
There's
want
a
to do a
little-
little comparison to I don't think these scales work well unless you
No.
compare it to something that you know.
Yep.
So it says for ease of training it's a 3 out of 5. Now in this book I've also looked at German Shepherd, which is
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've got trainability at 3 out of 5, which means they're less trainable than something like a German Shepherd.
What about a Labrador? Can you find a Labrador? Because I'm pretty sure that would be
that
like
would
a
be
5.
really, really awesome.
That would
thing
break
to-
the chart.
Let's see.
That would be in the retriever section.
Even okay, another example: a miniature poodle.
Miniature poodle, yeah, is a 5.
4.
Is a 4, yeah.
It's a
Okay.
4, yeah.
Yeah. I sometimes look at breeds of dog in that book and I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about.
It's all bias, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
But,
pretty biased.
It has affection at 3, but it sounds
No,
like those ones are
yeah.
quite highly affectionate.
See,
It
Ben,
also has German Shepherd as a 3, and
see,
Arrow
Ben,
is
Ben
super
had
affectionate.
a Swiss Shepherd. I'm pretty sure he had a white Shepherd.
Yeah.
And in comparison to his white Shepherd, I'm pretty sure he reckons that these are more affectionate and loving.
Right. Well, and this
So
it
it's
says good with
it's in the eye of the
it's a
beholder.
yeah, I agree. 3 out of 5 for good
for-
with children. I still don't know. I still have not I have not made up an opinion
Yeah.
about whether or not I think that the breed of the dog has anything to do with how good they are with children.
Mm.
Because I think if you breed dogs with those characteristics and then you're selectively breeding the wrong things,
Yeah.
right? Nobody's breeding dogs that are bad with children,
Well, you sure hope not.
right? Like not purposely.
Yeah.
So how does how does
All right.
one
First,
breed? You know,
first thing I want to do is I want to make sure it hates kids.
yeah. how do
Well,
people like? How are they breeding? You know, how are they saying that the genetics of this dog makes it not as good with children? Is it just because it's
Mm.
you know what I mean? Like, what is that based on? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Anyways, good with
Yeah.
other dogs, it's a 2. Now,
Often-
I can see that's for sure. Dogs are, you know, there's a lot of dogs with characteristics of not being good with other
True that.
dogs. That's fine. And then grooming required, whatever. But so good with other dogs, German Shepherds are at a 3 as well. And good with children, they're at a 3 as well. So, but I think exposure, it's more about exposure with kids than it is
Yeah.
about other things. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm with you all the way, man. For sure.
It's tricky because I totally believe in genetics as well.
Yeah, so
and
do
I believe
I.
that genetics is such a big part of who we are and who the dogs are
Yes.
that, you know, maybe the exposure has less of an effect on it than what we think.
Mm.
You see what I mean?
I do.
It's all, I think it's pretty relative. So I wouldn't base getting one of these dogs on those stats. That's
Yeah.
for sure. But I reckon they're pretty cool dogs. Honestly.
Because, and a good example of what you're saying is the Pit Bull Terrier was bred to fight dogs. Same with dogs like Doggo Argentinos and stuff like that. Or Tosa Inus, which used to be called the Japanese fighting dog.
Yeah.
But you find some pit bulls today, which are still pit bull terriers. Like this is in the States, obviously, because they're not allowed to be here.
They are now.
They are.
Yeah, you're allowed to.
Yeah,
own them
that's
now.
right. Yeah, you have to declare them as a dangerous dog and all sorts.
But you can have them.
You can have them. But there are some dogs. Like we saw a pit bull the other day, didn't we? We saw it in the
Yeah.
and it was with 3 other dogs.
Yeah.
So
To
Riddle me that.
It was 2 other dogs, and they were both tiny little things. Like
yeah.
little.
Yeah, one was a
like
Chihuahua. One was a Chihuahua, and the other was like a... What are those things?
Pekingese
or looks like Gizmo from...
Pomeranian or something.
Oh, I need to think of the name of it. But yeah, so I don't think it's an accurate reflection. I think it's a case-by-case basis
I agree,
a lot of the time, but it's a generalization. Because I've seen videos of Ben's dogs, and they're at the park hanging out with little fluffies as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Exactly. So
it just depends.
It's really hard to base anything on these sort of statistics.
Yeah. And it's the same with like my Yard Terriers. Generally get on well with other dogs, but some of them just don't.
Yeah.
So, and that I think I put down to exposure, because Scuba's mum was an absolute bitch.
Yeah. Savage thing.
Yeah, savage, like can't go near other dogs. But Scoobs lives with another entire male, and as long as I am supervising, it's fine.
But and the fact that it's in another entire male is, you know, like when he runs around with my dogs, it's not like he's doing anything wrong at all.
Yeah, he's trying to get Arrow to chase him around and have a good time.
So, and that's because he had exposure from a young age.
Yes, I would agree. So there's fuel for the argument that we're talking about.
I feel like I could argue it on both sides.
You definitely could. It'd be a good debate.
Yeah.
Debate
with myself. There we go.
Anyways, back to... Shit, there's a fair bit here. Anyways...
We don't need to go into any more of it.
I think we do, because the giant schnauzer was practically unknown outside of Bavaria until nearly the end of the first decade of this century. Cattle driving was then a thing of the past as the railroad took the cattle to market. And Oni was on those.
Yes.
He's like, I got a mailbag.
When did that start? Where the railroad started bringing everybody to market?
Yeah. But the breed was still found in the hands of butchers, at stockyards, and at breweries. The breweries maintained the dogs as guards, at which duty they were preeminently successful. Not until just before World War One, when their numbers were greatly decreased during the fighting, did the giant schnauzer begin to come to nationwide attention in Germany as a suitable subject to receive police training at the schools in Berlin and other principal cities. He proved such an intelligent pupil that police work has been his main occupation since that time. His progress in this capacity in the United States has been very slow, making his appearances here at the time the German Shepherd was reaching its peak. The Bavarian dog had little chance to make headway against such well-established direct competition. This may sound pig-headed to me, but I just think Shepherds and Malinois do a better job. From what I've seen. You can't beat a hard Shepherd or a hard Mal.
Yeah, I really... Yeah.
They're more agile. Like, these things are huge. They're like nearly the size of Great Danes. So yeah, they got stopping power, and if they really want to hurt you, they're going to hurt you.
Yeah, but they're looking for smaller dogs.
Exactly,
now.
But so is a Malinois that you can carry on your shoulder, and it's 28 kilos. It's going to rip your forearm to bits.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter if it's got the drive and it's going to do it. So I think this person's a bit butthurt that they're like, not using the dogs.
Can you explain that?
Butthurt?
Yeah.
It's just a term. It's just a term, man.
My butt hurts?
No, it's like, don't get butthurt over it. Like, I don't know. It's just a term.
Don't get like literally a sore butt.
Yeah. If somebody can like write in and on our Instagram, send us a private message and explain butthurt to Kahuna's satisfaction, you will receive a small Lego gift present. Small one, nonetheless, but our track record's good because Coach Jono messaged me this morning, and he's currently on a tour of Europe, and he has got something for us, a present.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it better be good, or otherwise I'm sending it back. I sent you a monster truck, even though it was a Lego one. Yeah, so our track record's good. We will deliver with the Lego present.
That's right.
You just need to send us the message explaining butthurt so that Big Kahuna knows what it is.
Oh, what if someone from like the UK who's pissed off now sends it? We have to send a Lego present all the way across the world from here.
Shit. Actually, I can't remember her name. It was Jamie something. Yeah, did you see that on Facebook?
Yeah, one of the...
Yeah, she you were a bit late to the party.
Yeah, holy.
Yeah, so sorry about that, Jamie.
You
Got to be quicker on the trigger.
That's right.
Yeah. You got to listen every week, not to miss out. But anyways, back to the stories of this. The first giants were imported to the United States in the early... I don't really care about the early 90s, like them being imported to the US. Although we probably should, because people are listening in the US now. Sorry, everyone, I'll read it. The first giants were imported to the United States in the early 1920s, and by the 30s, some of the best German breeding stock was in the hands of Americans. Giants were used by the US Army in World War II. Today, the giant, although rare in the US and Canada, is gaining in popularity. And now it just goes into the description of the dog. I'm not going to describe it because you guys can go and have a look at it. That's why we do Breed of the Week. If you don't know what the breed is, go and have a look at it for yourself. And educate yourself a little bit and have a little bit of fun doing it.
Yes.
Who knows? You might actually get one. But I will read the personality. It says, very protective, bold and spirited, calm, loyal and responsible. Intelligent, a dominant breed that needs an experienced trainer. Responds best to firm, consistent training with a positive attitude and plentiful rewards.
What does responsible mean when a dog?
You can leave it to... You teach it to use the microwave and it's not going to do it irresponsibly. It's not going to put aluminium in it.
Turn the oven off when it's done.
Puts his toilet seat down when it's finished.
Oh, you're so responsible.
Yeah, oh, you are a very responsible boy. Phil, I learned some from the best, so...
Oh, well, I think that's about enough of the breed of the week.
Hang on. So, behaviour, children... Best with well-behaved, considerate children. So if you're a meth head and you have like little crackhead babies running around, don't get one. Here it says trainability easy to train. This is definitely a bias.
Oh, it's so biased.
Dominance is high. Oh, it's dominant. It'll make you wear a gimp mask and strap you to the wall. No, it will wear the gimp mask and it'll strap you to the wall. It's got a little whip. Get ready.
Oh, jeez.
Anyways, that's the end of Breed of the Week for this week. Benjamin, I hope you've enjoyed it.
It's a pretty cool breed.
Yeah.
I like them.
I'd love to take a bite off one.
Well, I'd like
see
to,
what it's like.
I would like to see one in action.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to see.
That's how I judged it. Like,
Yeah.
I'd never taken a bite off a Doberman before until a few weekends ago. And I can honestly say, put my hand on my heart and say that it was easily in the top 3 that I've ever taken a bite off.
Yeah.
And I completely wrote them off.
Yeah.
Long before I was like, nah, it's Malinois or Shepherds. I've taken bites off Rotties, like off all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
But this Doberman, I won't say his name and I won't say where he came from, but holy shit. I didn't have gauntlets on under the suit either. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Ouchie.
Oh, ouchie mama. And his mouth was so long and it was all the way up to the back teeth, mate.
Yeah.
No rebiting.
Yeah.
Just holding on tight
Yeah.
and gripping down harder when I moved. I was
Yeah.
like, get this son of a bitch off me. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Big Kahuna's Mailbag.
It's question time for Big Kahuna.
Why do you never sing along with me? Fluffy
I don't
always
have a
shit on my
voice of an angel like
doona.
you do.
Doesn't matter either do I. She up my girlfriend when I'm trying to spoon her. All these questions and more
On Big Kahuna's Mailbag.
Ding, 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 ding. Thank you. Alrighty. Pretty sure we've only got the one question today.
Yes.
What have I got here? Oh, this is from Max in Kedron.
Where is that?
Kedron is not far from where I used to live.
Oh.
It's the
See, we
north.
still get most of our questions from Australia.
Yeah.
I guess that's because of the proximity of...
Yeah. Kedron's a good spot too. Terrible football club.
Yeah?
Yeah, Kedron.
Is that where you used to
Kedron
play?
Lions. No, I used to play at Aspley Hornets actually. Kedron is not a good football club. They're alright.
You think they're better now?
Nah. Anyways, Max from Kedron says, Biggie K, every afternoon I take my dog, Yukon, 14-month-old boxer. That is a sick name.
Yeah.
Applause for the name. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. Great name. All right, shut up.
He might win something just for that name.
I reckon he might. It'll be a small block of Lego to add to his collection that I'm sure is enormous already. So he takes Yukon, who's a 14-month-old boxer, to the dog park to let off some steam and also attempt conversation with attractive girls that turn up.
Oh, that's a
Go on
wise.
you, Max.
Did he say how old he is?
No.
50.
Yeah, he's probably like, he's 82. Want to see me dance? He says, my strike rate is not great, FYI. Oh. You get 2 boos, Max. Work on it. When we get there, Yukon's behaviour changes dramatically. He's too much energy for me to hold on to, even. I liken it to a kid in a candy store. He's so enthusiastic about the interaction with the other dogs that sometimes he is a little too boisterous. It's not at all aggressive, but sometimes other dogs won't tolerate his behaviour and snap at him. I always try to separate him from the situation, but often the other owners just tell me to let them play. They'll work it out.
Yeah.
I'm
This
always
is so true of dog parks, isn't it? Dog parks are...
I've been there a million times.
I like going to dog parks and letting my dogs roam around, but I'm always doing certain things when I'm there, like
That's
making
right.
sure that my dogs aren't doing the wrong thing.
You be a responsible dog owner.
Well, I think I think you just really offended a lot of people because I think a lot of people that go to dog parks.
Well, that's the harsh reality.
They think they're being responsible though, and then they're
but you're not. Like that's the
yeah, but they don't know that they're not.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, man.
They don't know they're not.
I never let people tell me what to do though. I'm like, shut up.
See?
Like don't tell me how to. If I'm going to take my dog away from the situation, I'm doing it because I know.
Yeah, that's
All
right.
right.
But you know. So this is the thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of people go to the dog park.
Are you just going to let your 2 kids punch on in the kitchen? Is
I
that what?
would.
Yeah,
I would.
You would. And you're like, you have nothing and I have everything. No spoons. No spoons. Hey, we established the rules beforehand. No spoons.
But no.
Cassie's like, ah!
Oh, stop them.
Steve, they're doing it again. One of them's like got him in a headlock and he's just shaving the side of his head. He's like, oh. He's like, oh, nice. Yeah.
Good move.
Resourceful. And play that music.
What
like
music?
the Canadian strip. Yeah, that's guy. Like you're just playing that on him. Just throwing money at him. You've got like a stovepipe hat. A tuxedo on. Oh. Come in, gentlemen. Watch my 2 sons fight to nearly the death before I stop them.
Exactly, right? So, like, it seems so ridiculous, like satire, what you're saying, but that is what is basically going on at the dog park.
Mm.
It is.
Punching on.
Yeah, they start punching on with each other, and I guess the funny thing is, like, you say that, would you let your kids do that? I let my 2 dogs play way more rough than I would ever let them play at the park.
Mm.
So at home, when they're playing together, I basically I don't get involved.
Yep.
Because what'll happen is Arrow will be too annoying to Penny, and Penny will grab him on the side of the face and hold on until he yelps, and then he'll run away, and that's it. Right? So that's that. I just let them do that, you know.
Yeah.
But if Arrow started doing something back to her, I would probably stop him, right?
Yeah.
So because I want her to have the balance of power in that situation.
Yes.
Because
she's smaller.
She's small. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so it sort of depends on the situation as well.
Mm.
But at the dog park, they are not allowed to play rough. Arrow's not allowed to chase other dogs. You know, that sort of stuff. Like we had him out today, and he was chasing around Scooby.
Yeah,
and
but Scooby wanted him to do it.
I know he did.
So
and lots of dogs want that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you should
Exactly
allow
right.
them to do it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Because what happens is they learn to do it with that dog, and then they try it with the next dog, but the next dog doesn't want it.
Exactly.
Right. So then when they do that, it either scares the other dog, or the other dog turns and cracks it.
Yep.
So if you know the other dog that they're playing with, and maybe if you're going to the dog park every day and you get a good feel for the other dogs.
Yeah. So I guess that is the that's the catalyst really for Max.
It is.
Are you going to the same dog park, or are you going to different dog parks?
Yeah. What, are you talking to me?
No,
Or are you talking
Max.
to him hypothetically?
Yeah, because chances are, like, some dogs will turn up every day, but if you're turning up there every day, like, your dog might develop a relationship with certain dogs, and then there might be new dogs, and it's an environment that your dog's familiar with,
Yeah.
and
that's
comfortable with all the time, and like sort of like king of the kids. And
Yeah.
then new dog comes in, it's a little bit timid because it's a new environment, and then there's Yukon just putting him in triangle chokes and
right. Yeah, exactly.
throwing him about.
You know what? The other thing at dog parks that becomes a huge problem that nobody
But Max,
ever does.
That's what Max is. He's like, I'm trying to separate.
That's right. Yeah. So he's
doing a
totally
good
right.
job.
Yeah, totally correct. And it's basically what I do is if my dogs start acting a bit silly, I go and get a hold of them. I hold them still, right? Or I've got a remote collar on them and I'm using it that way. But if I'm training a dog that doesn't have a remote collar, I will do that. And if I can't get a hold of them, the next time I go to the dog park, they're on a long line.
Yep.
So you need to have some sort of control in place.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the main thing is, yes, you should be stopping them up in that situation. And if someone else says, "Oh, just let them be dogs," just say, "Nah, I just would like my dog to, play a bit more gently. And it's going to make everybody angry, and I'd rather him just learn not to do that."
Yeah.
So people will not continue to argue with you if you say that.
Yeah, just be assertive. But
Yeah.
in the last little paragraph, he says, "I'm a bit too timid to ever go against the grain of what people are saying." But there you go, mate. Like,
He needs
you
a
just
cup
need
of concrete.
Yeah,
That's what he needs.
yeah. Back yourself. Pull up your britches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stroll over there like Popeye.
But I mean, you don't have to do it in a grumpy way either. You just say, "Oh, I'm just."
I'd
I'm
prefer
just
you do it
training."
in a grumpy way.
Shut up.
Start speaking in tongues.
But there's lots of things going on at the dog park that are a problem. Another one that I would recommend everybody do is when a dog is coming in, don't let your dogs go to the gate.
Yeah.
There'll be 5 or 10 dogs standing at the gate when a new dog is coming in, and it puts the whole situation
It's
out of whack.
intimidating.
The dog is under a lot of stress, and then when they come in, they start nipping and biting the other dogs because they start to get a bit too afraid. And all you have to do to fix that whole issue is call your dog away from the fence and hold on to them while the other dog comes in. Let a few dogs go say hello, and then let your dog go. I don't even go through those gates. I just have Arrow and Penny jump the fence.
Yeah.
So I just walk over and
To a different spot.
to a different spot. Yeah. So the dogs are over in a different area, and they know that when a dog comes in that one, they have those double gates.
Yeah, yeah.
So when a dog comes in that thing, the only way in is to through that other one. So all the dogs flock there.
Yeah.
But if I'm just standing outside of it, the dogs don't flock there because they don't anticipate a dog coming in.
That's right.
And then I just have them go over it,
And then they've
then
snuck into the festival.
Exactly. And then they meet everybody nicely, because I can guarantee you that if the dogs met Penny the way that they meet a lot of dogs at the fence, she would crack it.
Yeah, she doesn't like people like dogs up in her grill.
Up in her face, yeah. That's right.
Scooby does that. He does the submissive thing where he's like underneath her and turns his head on his side. And,
Yeah.
And even then she's like, "Get away from me, you little shithead."
She's like,
I will hammer fist you to death.
But to answer your question, keep doing what you're doing, and
back yourself in.
Yeah.
If you think that you want to stop it, go and stop it, man.
That's right. And if
you can catch him.
If you can catch him. But
Yeah.
if you can't catch him, and that's becoming a problem, you need to put him on a long line.
Put him on a long line. Yeah.
You should have control at the dog park anyway. You should be able to call your dog away at any time,
Yep.
regardless of what situation they're in.
My preferred method for that is doing proper e-collar training and understanding.
Of course, but that
That's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But that is the most effective
Yeah.
method of having ultimate and correct control.
An example that I use, what I do with Arrow, and because he's a big German Shepherd, he's intimidating looking, and he plays with little dogs all the time, and he loves it. And but what if he starts to like get a bit too hyper? I just tell him to be gentle, and then if he doesn't be gentle, I press the vibrate on the remote collar.
Which is this is your last chance.
Yeah. And
it's a communication. Like, don't screw me around.
That's right. And then the next thing I do in that situation is I just call him away, and he has a timeout. So he either changes his behavior and calms down, or he comes back to me and he doesn't get to play at all. So that's my rule, and he's on control that way. So he now plays extremely well with other dogs because he's learned that he can't play certain ways.
Yep.
The only dog that he struggles to be gentle with is Scuba, because he's hilarious and he stirs the dogs up.
And Joe, when Joe is being
Joe bites
a
on
rude,
the face.
rude little son of a bitch.
That was a rude awakening for
Joey. If you're listening in your little kennel out there, and I know you are, he's got his little transistor radio. But yeah, Maxie,
I hope that answers your question.
And good luck with your pursuits of talking to the fairer sex.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Well, I think that
sort of ties us up here, man.
Concludes the journey.
That concludes the episode 12 journey. There won't be an episode next week. I'm in Indonesia.
Dumb.
Also known as Bali. Well, a place in Indonesia. Yeah.
I don't have anything for this.
You don't? I'll give you this one.
Don't get upset.
Yeah, you don't get upset, Big Kahuna, but... You've got it too, yeah. What do you got on for the week ahead?
Oh, so busy.
Yeah.
I need to slow down.
You do?
I do.
Yep.
I end up getting home at like 10 at night.
That's not acceptable.
No, it's ridiculous.
You're doing clients all the way up to 10 at night.
Well, by the time I get home, yeah.
Holy... Oh, yeah, by the time you get home. So you might finish your last client at 8:30 or something.
9:30 usually.
9:30.
I'm not usually driving an hour and a half, but yeah.
Holy shizzle bongers.
Yeah,
that is mental.
It's a lot. But it's fun. I enjoy it.
Yep.
It's a good thing it's dog training, because if it was anything else, I'd be losing it.
You'd be painting the walls with your brain matter.
That's right.
Yeah. That's what I'd be doing.
You're going away? What are you doing?
Going to Bali with Han and her family.
Oh,
It'll be a fun adventure, I sincerely hope.
Have you been to Bali?
Yep, I went last time. I went this year with Han.
Oh, yes.
We climbed a mountain. It was very lovely and beautiful.
That's right, you did go there.
It was really good. And I fed a dog there a banana sandwich.
Are you going to be going... I fed a dog a banana sandwich. I was going to skip past that, but I couldn't.
I did.
Yeah.
They cook you breakfast in the side of the mountain because it's volcanic and all the steam.
Ah.
And I ate a boiled egg, and they made me a steamed banana sandwich, and the look of it just made me want... I was like... But one of the little village dogs enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah, well... Yeah. Are you going to go snorkeling? And
I don't think so this time. We went diving last time. It was amazing. It was really beautiful. This Jordanian couple were just projectile vomiting on the surface of the water.
Oops.
I was like, I know what seasickness feels like, but I'm not seasick this time, so bye.
Usually once you get into the water, it's fine, but...
Mate, not... The only time that I've ever been seasick in my life...
I think
I've told you this one. Southwest Rocks. I was meant to do 2 dives, ended up doing 1 dive. They were like, we got there, dropped anchor at the dive site, and I was like, I immediately feel shit house. And they're like, just jump in, man. Like, it'll be sweet. Like... So I was in the water for about half an hour just projectile vomiting. Just if a shark takes me now, that's it. I'm resigned to the fact. I'm resigned to the fact.
Not gonna.
And they were like, all right, man, get back in the boat. Put your dive equipment on. It'll be so much better when you're under the water. I was like, all right, that's reassuring. We go to the bottom. Tyke's got his GoPro, and you can see it. He's got the video of it, and he's like, thumbs up, and I'm like, thumbs down, reg out, orange cloud.
Can you get this video?
It's out there.
Get it.
Yeah. And then
I want you to get it.
And then he's also got another video of me hanging onto the side of the boat at the surface, just projectile vomiting, telling him to get out of my face.
You have got to get the
Yeah,
video.
it's hilarious because they're like grey nurse sharks like swimming all the way around me, and I'm just like there, like a broken man taking my reg out, and I'm like.
What amazes me is that you could take your rig out, explode, and then put it back in and continue breathing.
Well, you've dived before.
Yeah.
So you got to purge it again.
I know, but to have anything left.
I know, but I'm confident in the water because I've been in the water. Like someone else would have been
dead.
panic stations. Yeah,
Yeah.
would have been
That's
real
crazy.
bad.
That's crazy.
But anyways, let's just end it on that. There, you get a little anecdotal story. Yeah, that was me. That's the actual soundbite of me at Southwest Rocks on that day.
Oh.
Yeah. Not to say that the dive experience, well, it was pretty shit. But anyways, thanks for listening to episode 12 of Dog Ugly Dudes Talking Dogs, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed it. Like I said, we won't be here next week. I'll be away, but we will recommence shortly after. Mm-hmm. It is episode 12, isn't it?
Yes.
Now I'm second guessing myself.
Well, you did a special episode, so that
I did remember
count.
to say, it doesn't count. Alrighty, you guys have a fantastic weekend and a good week ahead, and Bicker and I'll be back to talk to you very soon. You guys stay classy out there. Alright.